welcome back to the channel. A new setting. I thought I'd do this outside because it's just really nice outside and, see me in a different spot. So, if I sound funny, it's because I'm getting sick. Or I'm trying to get sick because someone at work was a little stuffy and sniffly. So it's made a way to me, or it's trying to, but we're fighting it. So, today I'm going to go over my recent books that I've gotten. Now, majority of these, actually 2 of these books I've gotten are actually non-native indigenous books, so I'm just sharing everything that I got. So I'll share them now with you here. Okay, the only 2 books that I got that are not, actually I got a 3rd one on the way, but it's taking forever to get here. It is of course Hotel 3, even though I forget the other one that's coming, but it is of the same topic, and of course it is Hung Jury, the Diaries of a Menendez Juror. So, and also got the Menendez brothers' story, the shocking tale of Lionel and Eric Menendez, their parents' brutal deaths, the dark secrets that led to life sentence, and their current reunion after decades of separation. There's a Menendez brothers book coming in November. I don't know why it's coming in November. I kind of started this a little bit. I'm on 20 pages in, not that much deep, then paused. Of course, I got interested, and I'm sorry for the car in the background. And of course, there's someone downstairs, so we're just gonna keep pushing. Act like everything's normal. So, of course, with the Menendez brothers being a big thing, I thought I'd get it, read up on it. So, free the Menendez brothers, you guys. Free the Menendez brothers. I did sign a petition to get them free, and they are supposed to be out of prison soon, so it'll be interesting to see. Been following it ever since of course I knew of the Menendez brothers, but not that deeply. But I've been following it closely since the Netflix show came out, and I watched it. Of course, I'm actually rewatching it. So, oh, I forgot how good these were. Okay, so good news on that. So now I'm gonna get into my indigenous books I've gotten. So the very first one is Becoming Kin. An indigenous call to forgetting the past and reimagining our future. So basically, this is just an education on indigenous culture and our histories, and how do we better represent indigenous cultures, and Black and indigenous cultures, and how do we show up, where we can be found, and how can we better support Black and indigenous peoples. And basically that's what it's about. How can we become better kin to each other? How can we make better relationships between all of us? I feel like I did get a whole lot of education out of this, but I want to reread it because I did mark up a good bit, but I feel like I absorbed a lot. Okay, I think I absorbed a lot, but I want to absorb more of it. So, because of course the first time you read something, especially when it's educational, you're not going to absorb everything the first time you read it. So I hope the audiobook doesn't go away, because it says it's going to go away November 14th. I hope it doesn't, because I like to listen. So I think I'm going to reread it at some point. But yeah, I marked up a whole bunch. But there's a quote in here that I did circle, that I feel like was very, okay. So this is I feel like very, very, very relevant to the times of what's happening today. Because the world is scary right now. So, oh my god, the sun just is beating down on me. I'm so sorry. If I'm squinting throughout this video, it's because the sun is on me. So basically it says, how can we read these histories differently and find a way to live together in peace, honesty, and respect? How can we find a way to live in the knowledge that we are all related? How can we become better kin? I like that. So I circled it. I didn't need to put a tab there to find it again, but I thought that was very, very relevant to what's going on today. Very relevant. It's not even funny. It's like, there's so many things that, like, I circled when I was reading through this book that I'm like, damn, this is so relevant as to what's happening today. It's almost scary how relevant it is. But I think it's a good word for everybody. It kind of opens your eyes up to things, what's happening, and you know how can we better show up for people that we want to show up for? How can we better support? How can you support people that need support? You know, I think that was very eye-opening to that. Okay, he's back down here. So the other books I got. So I'm gonna go down. Oh my god, the sun is horrible. I thought this was a good idea, but I'm gonna stick to it because I'm sticking to my story. This is a great idea. Being outside is so nice. So I got Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee: An Indian History of American West by D. Brown. Now I got the rest of these books. I got off of those books because what I wanted, like the first batch of books that I wanted, it was like first four I wanted to get, they were like $90, and then the other set of 3 or 4 was like $70. And these all together from this stack on was like $60. So if I would have gotten them off Amazon, it would have been like closer to $200. I'm not doing that math because I don't really math like that, okay? I'm gonna say that, I don't really math like that, but yes. So I got Bury My Heart Wounded Knee. My dad would bring this up constantly because he read it, I guess, because obviously he had to because he talked about it, and so I wanted to get it to see why he talked about it so much. And also, since a little bit of research I did for his reviews, that it's very eye-opening. Like, you realize how much the government lied. I mean, I know that the government lies to us, I know that, but like, I think I'll truly find out how much they lied about our Indian history, Native American history, and what really actually happened. So what compared to what we learned in school, which again, I've talked about this in the free book that someone blogging this, my experience of reading this and how this goes. That Native history is taught, like, but it's very much glossed over. Like, I feel like we focus a lot more on, like, slavery, which, I mean, yes, we need to focus on that too as well, but really, like, on those 2 world wars that we had. You know, like, we focus a lot of our time, like, whenever I was in school, maybe for my personal experience, not sure about anybody else's experience, but we focus on a lot of the first and second World War, a lot of it on that. And then, you know, I feel like, you know, the atrocities that happened to indigenous and native culture and Indians should have been talked about just as much as slavery and Civil War, both World Wars, Vietnam, and things like that. I feel like that should have been just as much talked about, but maybe it could have been. I'm just getting the benefit of the doubt that, at least from my experience in schools, they cram so much in a short period of time. I think it's we only have like 18 weeks per for a semester. That I think they just have to squeeze in so much in a small period of time. I don't think they have enough time to really dive deep into Native history and culture and the atrocities that happened. Maybe I'm just making me there for the doubt, because I do know, at least for my experience, they cram so much in a small period of time that I don't think we have time to actually fully learn and like actually, you know, comprehend and have it actually stick in our brains. You know, I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but moving on. So the other one is The Heartbeat of Wounded Knee: Native Americans from 1890 to the present. So there's a website that I found this on where I found it. I don't know how I found it, but I found it, and it has a list of books that's recommended, and so this is where I got all this from. I'll probably link it down below. So this is like this is gonna go to whole history. This is like a history books list. That one, yeah. So this will be interesting to read, because I think it's going to be based on factual stuff. I have no idea what it's going into. I just don't recommend it. And of course, I got, since it was mentioned. It's always mentioned, this particular book and what it talks about. That is The Trail of Tears: The Rise and Fall of Cherokee Nation. So the Trail of Tears is always, it's mentioned. Like, you hear Trail of Tears, you know, and I believe this is like where like everyone got the displacement of like Native children that's going into the schools. I think, I'm not 100% sure what it's about, but you hear it from people and you're like, what? Trail of Tears, what? Like, it's always referencing like history, and like big history TV shows, you know, documentaries. So I think it's about time. I think particularly, I truthfully think that these two books, the Trail of Tears and Bare My Heart Wounded Knee, I think like these are probably the most recommended books I think that everyone should read, and especially if you're indigenous. I think like these are like the most, like the bigger known atrocities that's happened in history. So there's that, and then I got this one. It's an Indigenous Peoples History of the United States for young people. So this is basically just, you know, another history of our Indigenous people. I just want to learn all the histories of my people. Okay, so that one. And then I got this one. What I read. It's Abandon Me Memoirs. So this is basically, I read this and it was just when I read like over the summer, I know there's a mention in there about natives who suffered the abandonment of their parents due to alcoholism or drug abuse, and I instantly put it in the cart because I instantly relate to that, because I was essentially, me and my sister was essentially kind of abandoned by our dad and our mom, because they were both, my dad was alcoholic and my mother, she was a drug addict. I know there's a time where they were sober, but my sister kind of saw that a little bit. I never really got to see that too much. I just remember the times of, like, when they were sober, it was always when that we would be going to our Nana Papa's house, going over there for like Christmas, Halloween, you know, just family gatherings and stuff like that, or going over there for the summer. And I think I don't know if he's really truthfully sober, but maybe he was just hiding it really well. But I do remember a time when my dad, he was sober. I believe he was sober. He could have been hiding it very well, but I'm not 100% sure. But we would go to the Dollar General, and with my little monies that I got for like me losing my teeth or whatever Christmas money that I had from Nana Papa, we'd go over like to the Dollar General. We'd go shopping, and then we would actually go to the grocery store, get some groceries. My mom, like, when we go get groceries, she would have a whole list, and she knows the prices of these. Like, she count the money, but I think now she probably did that. She didn't want him to spend money on alcohol, or it's because we were broke, but really they were spending their money on like alcohol and drugs. So, but I just remember the day clearly when he actually drank alcohol in front of me. We were parked in front of a tree. It was like in the plaza where the Dollar General is, and the drugstore, and like the pharmacy and the grocery store was at, and he did his little shot bottle, so like he just drank that like in the car, just sitting there. I'm like, oh. And I just remember like just that feeling. It was disjointed. It was really like, something's not right here. And then my mom got real bad. I remember she would like, I feel like at least once a month there'd be like a big outright fight where she'd be whacked out, she'd be wigged out, tweaking or whatnot, and then all fights would break out, her stumbling and things like that. And then I think it was like 2011, 2010, where she got real bad. She broke her shoulder real bad, and then she ended up in and out of the hospital. And that's where her body was giving up at some points, because her body could not take the abuse that she was putting her body through. And then I guess my dad was like, well, she's gonna go, then I'm gonna go too. So he ended up really diving deep in his alcoholism, to where it got to the point where we did not live with him. We'd go on the weekends to our aunt and uncle's house, and then which led up to us eventually being adopted. But instantly, I just don't mean like full on get into that whole story, but essentially that's what happened in like my early childhood. DFS was in our lives at certain points, so obviously things were going on that was not supposed to go on. But when I read that little piece of part in here, I usually like related to it, and I think this will be good for me to read about other people's experiences that had bad experiences like me. So there's this, and the next one I got is The Last Stand, Custer Sitting Bull the Battle of Little Bighorn. Little Bighorn. So I think that's a good one that I need to read, because I'm like, well, that's another battle that happened was Little Bighorn and Custer. So this will be interesting. So keep it on. And then this one is Walking the Red Road: Empowering Practices for Young Spiritual Journey, which I am. Okay, they're good. We're good. So this is Empowering Practices for Young Spiritual Journey. I am on a spiritual journey right now. I'm connecting with my native culture and understanding where I truthfully come from, and where does that put me in the world, I guess, because it feels like, you know, after I got adopted by my aunt and uncle, of course I ended up calling them mom and dad because they were more mom and dad than my biological parents, because they actually were there. But then again, I feel like my native side kind of just got swept under the rug and forgotten about. Not that they meant to do that, but I do think they have some internal prejudice against at least the native community down here where I live, because of what my dad went through. So I don't think that they went through the process of like, okay, he had a disease, we had no idea how to get him the help that he truthfully needed, or where to reach out to get him the help that he needed, you know, because we didn't know that back then. But you know, we just didn't know, and then that's okay. We need to move on from it. But it's also like, you know, that's my culture. So I remember, like, whenever we would be putting in like applications for things, or signing for things for school, or whatever it might be, like the option I would always put, like, instead of being like white or whatever, or mixed Hispanic or whatever, I put Native American. And they were like, you probably shouldn't be putting that on here. I'm like, but why? And then they would just give this half-ass answer, whatever. I just never understood that. And I think that they kind of just thought, oh, I'd move on from it. But I've always felt a pull towards my culture. I've always felt that pull, and the wanting to know more, and almost the feeling of being robbed that I didn't get that chance to be a part of the culture or know anything about it. So, and here I am on this journey of re-educating myself, finding where I am, where I stand in this world now. Thanks to my husband, he's really pushed me to it. He feels like that I was taken away. Which, I mean, like, you know, my sister made the educated decision to leave based on what the information we had at the time. But now here I am, re-educating myself. Things have fallen into place where they needed to fall into place for, which is awesome. So I think this will be interesting and help me go into the direction that I need to go for this journey that I'm on. And the last two are Native Religion and Culture of North America. It's an anthropology of the sacred. So this is just, I'm assuming, oh, hey. I don't know what this is. What is this? I don't know, it just says the name on it. Cool, I don't know. Set that over here. So, I'm assuming this is just, you know, a big thing of, you know, Native American religion and cultures across the world. So, nothing really to say to that. Just, I want to know more about religious stuff, that are cultures, spiritual things of Native Americans, you know. So, this one is Spirit and Reason. Spirit and Reason. Yes. This is basically a collection of works by this author, you know, reviewing everything, I guess. So I have no idea what I'm getting into with this, but it just seems like this would be a good, I think these are a good starting point to where I need to go with, you know. Now, I don't know how I'm going to be reading all these, but certainly not all at once. Certainly this is probably going to be an emotional journey for me to go on. Since, you know, I'm looking really deeply into myself. I'm trying to stack my books back up. So this will be definitely like an emotional journey that I will be going through for however long this is gonna go. I also have more I also have more stuff on like my specific tribe as well. There is one of the ladies that I got reconnected with just by happenstance, that she came to the office that I work at, and she had to, you know, pick up whatever she needed to pick up, some paperwork and whatnot, and she actually used to work at the school that I was at in elementary school, and she actually ran into my dad. Stella, stop barking. My puppy's barking. Stella, come here. Stop. Come here. Hey, stop. Okay, now since I've gotten my puppy stopped barking, lies, I did not, because she just did it again behind you guys. Probably a squirrel that she's woofing at. But anyway, she actually got me connected to somebody that actually helps educate people who had missed out on the opportunity about our culture, natives, everything like that. So I actually have I was invited to a Google Doc, and I have all of like the some court documents that were photocopied of how we became state recognized in 1970. The story of our people and everything like that from where we were discovered until present. So I have to look into that. I have like 2 big binders I gotta like look into at some point while I'm on this journey. So anyway, this is my book haul of my basically my Indigenous Native books I have. It is November 2nd now. November is Native American Indigenous Month, Heritage Month. So during this whole month, I would like maybe for you, maybe to like read a book that's all written by an indigenous Native persons, or watch a documentary, or learn something new about the culture and our people and how we are affected every day, and how I believe, if I remember this correctly, Native women are, and black women as well, are 12 times more likely to get missing, murdered. So be cautious of that, be aware of that. And if any black, indigenous, Native women come to you and say, hey, I've been abused, or hey, I was just raped, believe them, because we are more likely to get turned away, or oh no, you were not believed, or we're like, what were you wearing, or were you drinking? It doesn't matter what we wear. It doesn't matter what we were drinking. We should be able to wear what we need to wear, or what we want to wear. It should be okay to drink what we want to drink, obviously responsibly. But if it do get out of hand, which it does happen, sometimes we don't know our limits. Guys do it all the time. They're just passed on. Oh, you're fine. Believe them. And don't assume that someone is not a non-native just because their skin color is lighter than the traditional native, like me. So someone in my comment section, like a week ago, was like, made a comment just basically saying that I wasn't native, all because I'm a lighter skin tone. I am native. My dad was this full-blooded, so that makes me half, because he married my mom, who's Casper the Ghost white. So don't automatically shut some now just because their skin color is not as brown as a traditional Native American. Don't do that either. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a lovely morning, day, evening, night, wherever you guys are at in the world, and thank you for sitting with me, talking about my books that I got, and talking about a little bit of my childhood, and a little bit why I'm on this little journey of mine. That is awesome. And if any of you guys out there are having kind of like the same journey, or having your own little journeys of rediscovering yourself and your culture, or your ancestry, or things like that, let me know. I'd like to hear it. That'd be awesome. So I'll see you in my next video. I hope you guys are having an awesome day. Bye.